Hey, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the Brown Gent. In tonight's video, I want to talk to you about why I think the window is closing. Don't fret, it's a bit of a clickbait title. I think you've likely got maybe 2 to 6 weeks left, but you better get your ducks in a row because I know right now a lot of you are very fearful. A lot of you are in survival mode. And I think that's really the wrong way to play this. I'm going to explain all of this in today's video. And also, this is one of those videos where I want to engage with the audience. So as always, put your questions in the chat and I'll be here. I'll make sure I go through each and every single comment. Please be respectful. Please don't repeat yourself. I find that stuff very annoying. And we're probably going to go on for about an hour. I just got some real estate stuff to take care of tomorrow, bright and early. So with that being said, as always, please do me a favor. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Share the video if you can. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already. If you'd like to see my moves, at least when it comes to my EVM wallet that I share with you guys, check me out on the bank. And today's the last day that you can join the Web3 Secret Society before the price goes up to $50 a month tomorrow on Valentine's Day. Now, links to everything I show, or at least my services, are linked down below, and I will be linking the other things I show you as well after the video. So the first thing I want to start off with is really talking about Twitter, X, and really Kaito. Because once again, and by the way, just so you guys know, we have regular office hours in our private group. I spent like 30 minutes yesterday going through the same thing with them. Don't worry, I'm going to spend like maybe 30 seconds to a minute talking to you guys about it. But really, it's about what you're leaving on the table. When I know many of you who are watching care so much about airdrops, because honestly, that's a fantastic way to grow your portfolio. Back with airdrops, especially when they were not something that everyone knew about, before they were saturated, it used to be something where you could fill in a form, provide your email address, maybe do some testnet activities or fill out some quests, and you could earn some valuable airdrops. I remember, I think Aptos gave $8,000 for just joining their Discord or filling out a form. Optimism, I believe, was the same way at the start. There were so many airdrops that people qualified for. And eventually, as people got more sophisticated, they ended up moving on to this whole idea of providing economic capital. And what I mean by that is it was no longer good enough to do transactions. It was no longer good enough to do test nets. We moved from that to something that would be harder to basically multiply your efforts, basically creating a Sybil farm. And because of that, it made it very clear that to distinguish yourself, you had to provide liquidity. Problem was, once again, that takes you out of the realm of a regular person and it starts putting advantages to whales. We saw this with EtherFi. We see this with a ton of eigenlayer aligned protocols, which for the most part didn't really pay out that well. I believe EtherFi paid out well the first time, but that was, that was a fluke, let's just say. And now we have taken this to the next level, which gives you a fighting chance, but you can't be a victim. And what do I mean by that? Well, I posted this earlier. So somebody, Ericonomic, posted that he said 0 things about IP, which is Story Protocol's token that came out today. He got 350 tokens for being a Kaito yapper. To put that in perspective, the token I believe was worth almost $3 a token. So he got over $1,000, didn't touch anything with Story Protocol. And hey, definitely got like some free money. And yes, while he says, hey, kind of weird strategy for customer acquisition, the reality is what's being rewarded is now social capital. And it doesn't matter how big your influence is. Now, I'll be honest with you. Do people who have bigger spheres of influence have more benefits? Of course they do, but that's the case in the real world. So many of you put your head in the sand and are unwilling because you think it's lame to want to build a brand. But a brand is just a representation of what people think of you when they see you. And while you may think that you are late to the brand game, and I used to think the same thing, when you delve into the crypto space, there are very few honest influencers in this space. And that's why I believe that this space is still not saturated. It's saturated with junk influencers, but if you want to be one who's on the up and up, if you want to provide value consistently, that's how you build a following. Let's just be straight up here. If you were always making tweets, providing value, telling people exactly what they should be considering, or giving them alpha, are they not going to follow you? They could hate you and still follow you because you are a great source of that. So don't tell me that this game is rigged against you. And I constantly hear this. I would hear this in my private group. I would hear this whenever I have discussions on Twitter that it's not fair. Well, guess what? The reality is life isn't fair, but you can either complain and choose to be a victim. You can complain that the deck is stacked against you, complain that it's rigged, or you can learn the rules of the game and play ball. And I'll tell you something, as somebody who still, if I compare myself to a lot of the behemoths on Twitter, I really started taking Twitter seriously a few months ago. And I'm almost at 100 yaps. And guess what? The game has changed. And now it's not about who's got the most number of followers, which, as we know, is a vanity metric, but it's who's providing quality content on X consistently, getting engagement, not begging for engagement, not just tagging random people, but actually creating insightful content. They're the ones who are going to get rewarded. They're the ones who are going to get airdrops and such. So I didn't receive a Bearer airdrop from Kaito, but I received one from Anime. I received one from IP, and hopefully I will receive more in the future. And this is really why I think it is so important for you guys to just get in on it. Not just that, but we have this really cool program, which I've talked about on the channel before. So this is a community-run project called Yap Trade. They're actually doing their whitelist for their DAO very soon. I posted on Twitter, if you follow me, a link to apply for that. I really recommend doing that if you haven't already. But they lock up deals with projects, and basically they're able to get around, I think this deal is likely $1.25 per yap, which is the same as 100 votes. So if you've got, I don't know, let's say you got 100 yaps. I'm just spitballing here, right? Well, then you get $125 for that time period, usually a week, which is incredible passive income. And not just that, as you do more of this, you start getting better at providing insightful content. So this is why I'm saying, guys, do not sleep on this. There's only 25,000 yaps going out daily. Huge opportunity. You're going to see projects more and more continue to reward this. Do you want to wait another year and sit there and say, no, I'm going to go collect some badges? Let me tell you something. I know somebody who got every single badge on Story Protocol and their airdrop was nothing. I got 100 IP from Kaito. So my thing here is, and mine was related to the NFT, but still, I know a lot of people who got it from the yaps directly. And I think you would be foolish not to take advantage of this opportunity. Do it while it's still a massive opportunity. Okay. Now I want to talk to you guys about crypto. So we just went through Twitter, which I believe is probably your number one opportunity and how you've got to change how you think about it. Your second opportunity is crypto, how these tokens have been beaten down. There's a lot of fear in the market. Let's just go to the fear and greed, right? It's about 40. It says neutral, but let's just call it fear. Let's just be honest here. 39, I believe, is fear. So we're fearful. The market cap of crypto has come down significantly. However, Bitcoin is pretty much, what is it, like $10,000 from the all-time high, but yet the timeline is so worried. And the timeline is so worried for one obvious reason. It's because many of you, and I saw this coming last year, I didn't see this coming, but a lot of you last year told me that I was foolish for not just ditching my major bags of Bitcoin, ETH, and Solana and just jumping into altcoins off the bat. Well, guess what? I could have done that and I'd still be at the same price point that you guys are right now in your altcoins, albeit Ethereum hasn't really done that well, but Sol's up, right? Sol is 194, which is the top end of the range, before November 5th. And then Bitcoin is basically at, in the top range of this entire cycle, way higher than all-time highs from the last cycle as well. So those things have appreciated a ton. And that's why the fear exists, right? The fear exists because so many people are not in these tokens. They are in tokens that are down 90+% because you have been sold a false bag of goods. People have told you to buy junk. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of my coins are down a bunch, like Pepe, for example. It's down a bunch, but guess what? I was not buying Pepe at 0.05 or 0.043. I was buying it maybe 10 to 20% higher than this. I was never buying it much higher than that. Like I stocked up before the Coinbase listing. But if you went and bought these things at the highs because you were chasing because of influencers, or you went and bought a bunch of on-chain trash like Moodang, Popcat, whatever it may be, then you're probably hurting right now. But let me tell you something. While I can't say definitively what will happen to those things, because a lot of those are cabal controlled where they own the majority of supply. So there is really no real shot these things, or we can't definitively say these things will recover, but we can definitively say that things like Ethereum will recover. Things like Sol will go back to 250 plus, go to 290 plus, right? I'm expecting at least 500, maybe even 800 for Solana this cycle. But guess what? A lot of you are fearful. So what happens? You end up sitting here in Sol and go, you know what? I don't want to touch this right now. And then you wait for Sol to break out past 250, and then you start chasing. This is the exact same behavior I saw back in the summer when we were sitting at 130. Let me just go through some of the actual charts right now. So this is something that I want you guys to see. So we've basically gone from range to range to range. This is Bitcoin. And you can see here, this was technically in the bear market back in 2023. Then we rose, with the rumors of the ETF. And then February, March, we went to all-time highs of 73K. We ranged between that and 56K with a slight deviation below. You probably remember those people on Twitter telling you that it was over for Bitcoin, that we're going back to 20,000. Well, they were wrong. And, this is why you have to be very, very sort of cognizant of who the source is. But because when you take a look at this, right, what you want to understand is, let's see if there was a parabolic move, right? When you see some big moves to the upside, right? Going from like 30K to 60K is, a 2X, right? In fact, it was a little more than a 2X because we went to 73. But we then consolidated, right, as people took profits, range bound for quite a bit of time before we attempted the next level higher. This is very good price action. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to wait here for another like 6 or so months, but we are going to range for a bit. Likely, one of the possibilities, in fact, I'm just going to put this out here, is that we may come down, sweep this liquidity down here, and then go up, or we could just technically go up. So that is sort of where I see the Bitcoin chart playing out. I don't see us, breaking through 77K, going like back to this range. That would be really, really bad. I don't think that happens unless there's some sort of black swan event or, things we can't predict. Remember, nothing I say is financial advice. I'm just a guy on YouTube, right? So like, what the hell do I know? So this is the sort of plan that I think will likely come to fruition. We play probabilities here, okay? So that's Bitcoin. Now, obviously, you're probably like, well, if I'm, Brown Gent, like, why would I want to buy Bitcoin here? Bitcoin's 95K. I'm not here to double my money, right? Because the pervasive argument on Twitter is if I just put my money in Bitcoin, I'm never going to make life-changing wealth. And that's correct. What Bitcoin does is, the majority of the Bitcoin move has already taken place. If you wanted to make money off Bitcoin, it was really like getting into it down at the bottoms here around 15,000. Then you would have 6x your money, right? Now you're likely going to 2x, if that. That is likely where I potentially see it happening. So I understand. But what that should tell you, though, is the health of the market. Because if Bitcoin is going up, altcoins will be going up. But obviously, once Bitcoin stalls and starts trading sideways, alts get kind of hurt unless the altcoin season is on. Now, let's go to a chart that we talked about. I think it was it 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago? February 3rd. You guys remember this, right? I had an AMA the day after. We had that massive nuke, right? The first tariff scares over the weekend, and basically Ethereum and pretty much everything nuked. We saw liquidations coming all the way to 2150 on Ethereum, depending on what chart you look at. This is Coinbase. But as a lot of influencers told you, don't worry, we're going to recover and go to 4,000, by mid-February. Well, we're mid-February right now, and that's not happening. What I had told you was going to happen, and this is really, some insight I got from Jackus, which, I've shared his contact and his Twitter before, is really most of the time we will go back and sweep this liquidity right here. We'll go to fill the wick, right? So we go down here, and basically, if you take a look back at August, it was very much the same thing. There was no rush here, right? I remember being in Greece at the time. Between August 5th and September 6th is 1 month. And so it traded and came back within 1 month. So you didn't just have to rush into it. And it seems like a very similar pattern is coming out. Now, I want to reemphasize, I don't think it's a high probability we break down here, but this is a potential thing that could happen. I say likely less than 20% of the time we break down here. I think majority of the time, maybe we don't even get back all the way down here. We fill the majority of the wick and then bounce back up. I'm looking for a reclaim around 3,200. That being said, here's why I'm bringing this up again today. It doesn't matter where you get in so much if you hold for longer term. Now, if you have a lot of money already invested and you're already your bag's full of ETH, okay, I understand saying, okay, I'm not going to buy here. Then you can wait for here. But if you've got no ETH exposure, you could do well buying on the way down, right? Just to make sure you get the exposure. Obviously, the closer we get to this wick, the less time you have until that bounce and send happens. But just consider positioning yourself, because a lot of people back here in August thought that Ethereum was likely dead for the cycle. In fact, the narrative was, okay, well, it's going to be sold, ETH is dead, ETH's going to be like XRP was in the other cycle, which is not a fair comparison because XRP was going through a lawsuit. Ethereum is not, unless, I know Vitalik was talking about communism today. I really hope, he kind of shuts his mouth and stops. But basically, you can literally start positioning yourself in, as we get closer to this range, or have some positions, because the reality is, right, when you go up, let me just show you what a price range looks like. Let's say you bought it at, let's say we buy ETH at 2,500. So we'll buy ETH at 2,500, right, which is a little lower than we are right now. To here, that's a 60% growth. Now, if we take that and go all the way over here, it's 88%. Now, obviously, 88 is better than 60. You didn't need me to tell you that. But what I hope you see from this is the closer we get to that wick, the harder it is going to be to time it. So just make sure you have some exposure. If you already are very well exposed like I am, then you can take a little more of a gamble and say you want a way better price. So that's why I'm doing that. But I think it would be foolish not to pack your bags. And let me tell you some other things. As we're going through this, don't feel bad about taking profits. You're not a Jeet if you sell, at key resistance. People are making money this entire time. And if you just let your bags appreciate and then you sort of sell off and whatever, then you are going to basically be in this roller coaster ride. You're going to watch everyone else make money in this cycle except for yourself. So one of the things that I'm doing, and this happens for pretty much all my bags, is I have a core position that I hold. I'm holding it until I see otherwise. The market tells me that, the crypto cycle, the bull cycle is over. I'm going to hold. I then have a trading bag, and that trading bag is actually where I go, okay, well, I just made 50% on this. Let me shave X amount from that and convert it into stable. What does that let me do? Well, it actually allows me to then buy back in when we get these dips. Obviously, this works very well when we're ranging sideways. It won't work so well when we're going straight up, but I have such a big amount of exposure to crypto that, hey, just set it really high. I'm going to make money either way. So remember, you should have your spot hold bag first, and then you can trade with a smaller portion that, you basically swing trade. But I really think it would be a massive miss not to be buying Ethereum below 2,500, below 2,600. Just make sure you're positioned, because that move is going to come. It's as predictable as the sun coming up tomorrow. Same thing goes for Solana. Solana, in fact, is actually very close. So Solana, 179 has been a fantastic level of support, right? Just take a look how strong this is, right? It is super strong, right? Very, very strong. Now you can go from 179 all the way to 175, I believe. But basically, right now we're at 193. So make sure you're positioned. A lot of people have these issues of, oh, I don't want to buy Sol because it's coming down. But then when Sol goes up, they're like, I don't want to sell Sol because it's going keep going up. So you end up never buying on the dip, and you never end up selling near any sort of blow off top. And let me tell you something. Even Aiden Ross knew that when this move happened on Sol, that was a sort of local top. He called the Trump meme coin as like a top, right? Which makes sense to pretty much everyone, which is why I posted on Twitter, and I made an AMA, I believe, where I shared that one of the ways I was playing the Trump meme coin was actually selling a lot of the Solana tokens that I had purchased on layaway, right? So I had borrowed I borrowed USDC or stable coins on Community Finance, bought some Sol, sold that Sol. I started selling at 230, 250, 270. Didn't get all the way up to 290. I don't know who caught these wicks here. I didn't do it, but still, it was fantastic. 6-figure day for me. So this is where you want to be, is filling up your bags, right? We're going back to the well. Look how close we are here. Like, yeah, can we break down? Yes, but it's very unlikely. Remember, it's a game of probability. You literally want to be filling your bags in this area. And 193 and 179 is less than 10% away from the ideal target entry price. Once again, something to look at. Another thing I want to show you is Pepe. Now, Pepe is one where I'm kicking myself because I wish I took profits on this thing. I take profits on other meme coins. I didn't do it here. I just kept buying it. As you guys know, I've got a massive bag of Pepe, multiple 6 figures in this thing. And basically, you can see here, you have a parabolic move, a sell-off, a parabolic move, a sell-off, a parabolic move, and then a sell-off. And this last parabolic move was due to Coinbase, right? So we had some massive multiples. Every single one of the Pepe sell-offs had a liquidation wick, ranged, and went up. So we got the liquidation wick right here, with the liquidation wick right here, and I believe with the liquidation wick right here. So just something to keep in mind for the future. We will trade range bound, and then we are going to go up likely to the next level, which is going to be around, what is it, like somewhere like 0.000353637 or something. So once again, there's no rush. You always had the time to do it in these ranges. Of course, if altcoin season happens, that changes things. So just keep this in mind. You're in no rush, but People have DM'd me telling me, hey, I'm gonna sell all my Pepe and now I'm gonna buy some Bitcoin because they're like throwing in the towel. I'm like, why don't you sell up here? To sell down here is the dumbest thing you can do. This is always marked the bottom. The liquidation wick is always marked the bottom of the range. So basically we are about 10% above the bottom. So once again, you have really good entries on Pepe. And this is why I'm saying that window that I'm talking about, that window that's closing, you don't have to rush and do it tonight, but just keep an open mind, because what's going to happen is we're going to zoom out 2-3 months in the future. And what you're going to see is, oh man, I wish I had more of this. I wish I bought more of ETH or Sol or Pepe. And instead, most people spend this time in fear trying to save their portfolios. But the reality is, it's not these tokens that are crushing your portfolios. It's the on-chain junk. It's all the garbage. Like tonight, it was broccoli, right? Like CZ's dog. People just jump buying and torching money that way. Stop doing that. You guys can literally make life-changing wealth if you listen to the things I'm telling you about and apply it consistently, right? Because it's not just about making money, it's about not wasting money. If you don't waste money, you have more money to buy the dips on things like this. Now, the third angle of this has to do with NFTs. So whenever fear is like paramount, people stop looking at NFTs with the same level of fury, right? I'm going to show you some charts in a second, but one of the things you have to be aware of is this is a time when a lot of NFT deals or really good deals are available and people overlook them. Tonight, Zier posted one where basically this CryptoPunk NFT sold for 125 ETH when you weren't looking. One of the better looking hoodie punks that have sold in recent times. Like that is really nice. You know what I mean? That's a really sweet PFP, and I'm gonna be honest with you, this is worth it. This is a grail, basically, right? It's so hard to get these high rarity NFTs that you could also use as a profile picture, especially when they're super clean. And let's be honest here, CryptoPunks is the grail. If somebody asks you what the most rarest NFT is, it's got to be CryptoPunks. In the future, that will always be the case. It's always going to start with CryptoPunks. So once again, people love buying this stuff when it's 45 ETH and everyone's all bullish and stuff, right? But when everyone's bearish, everyone forgets about these things. This is why you have an opportunity. I'm going to show you, we're on Mad Labs, but let me show you CryptoPunks very quickly. So let's take a look. I think 6 months ago at the election time, it was 25 Ethereum, right? Then December 4th, it was 45 Ethereum. Recently it was 40 plus Ethereum. Now, it was between 34, 35. You want to be looking to scoop up deals on these NFTs when they're underpriced. A very good example is Pudgy Penguin. Pudgy Penguin, if I look over here, it's around 10 Ethereum. It went to 30 because of everything going on with Pengu, right? Like 30 something over here back in December. But prior to that, it was sitting at 8. It rose to about between 10 to 14 before Pengu. I know this because I was going to buy a Penguin at 14, and then they announced Pengu and the thing skyrocketed every single day for weeks. But just take a look at the actual price tiering. Once we got into the bull market, so look over here, February 18th, 20 Ethereum. People forget these things, right? Right now we're at 10. There will likely be some benefit to Abstract besides this XP boost. It will likely come with an airdrop, not right away. But what people are not willing to invest in the short term can be a massive gain. And if this is obviously too much, little pudgies I also think are worth it. I was telling people that at 1 Ethereum, which is what it was a few days ago, it was an incredible steal, right? Just once again, we look at the graph, right? Look at how often it's below and by how much and at what parts, right? So here's the bull market started, right? So once again, you want to be out there looking for these deals. So many NFTs right now are undervalued. People will tell you this nonsense like NFTs are dead. That's nonsense, complete nonsense. And I'm going to continue to say this when I look at NFTs, the number one NFT in my mind is Mad Lad, right? Mad Lads are very undervalued. They've sold off. They've got a partnership with Backpack, right? So the CEO of Mad Lads is the CEO of Backpack. They have this VIP program, so it sort of is I don't want to say it's better than Hyperliquid. It just has a way better fee program. The UI on Hyperliquid obviously is better, but just take a look at what the price of Mad Lads is right now versus where it's been historically. And don't forget, Mad Lads are likely the NFT that have received the maximum number of airdrops to date, right? It's got to be one of the top three. I think this is probably the best NFT that you can pick up if you can only pick up one. And right now, I believe it's about $10,000, which is a lot more affordable than something like a Pudgy Penguin. But once again, these have amazing resale value as well. Like if you wanted to sell it for about 80 SOL, like a month ago, you could have, right? So this speaks to a lot of the price elasticity. You have to look at NFTs like a beta trade, just like you would a meme coin, except some of these NFTs are like grails of their chain. Mad Lads is like the grail of Sol, just like CryptoPunks is the grail of Ethereum. So I hope that makes sort of sense. Now, I'm not going to get into this one, but basically OpenSea also made an announcement about their token launch and sort of their OpenSea 2, which is basically like a new platform to have reduced fees, blah, 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 blah. What they're trying to do is basically revive their platform, which has become irrelevant, and they're trying to help early investors cash out because otherwise they never will be able to. Hopefully the C token, we get some more information on when it comes out, TGE and everything else like that, but I'm not too excited. So let's see who's in here and what the comments are going on. So we got the Bohemian Grove subgent, got 25 centimeters of snow. Wow. Yeah, I heard about that. Not gonna lie, people have been asking me how hot it is in Dubai. It is nice. Like, let me look at the temperature right now. It's usually between like 10 to 20 degrees. It's incredible. So yeah, if you can see it right now, Dubai is 21 degrees. So can't complain. It's very chill here. It's actually why it's a lot more expensive to live here during this time of year, because it's going to get unbearably hot in the summer, which, I have not been in Dubai for summers yet. So not looking forward to that. Hey, Fabian, how's it going? We got Fan Man here from Scotland. So I think Scotland is what, like 4 hours behind? Like 7:35 or something. How's it going? Good evening from Amsterdam. How's it going? Awesome. Love it. Hey, Amin, what's up? These are all questions. It's going. Snagadelics in the house. We got NW. All right. We got Fan Man saying, I had 18 projects staked on Cosmos. I unstaked all as airdrops now make you jump through hoops and then you get nothing. Very good call. So I have a very strong opinion on Cosmos. I'm going to talk to it, but let me just see if I can find the announcement. Basically, Cosmos, I was very bullish on Cosmos last cycle. I used to have Atom token and, like I used to stake it. I used to stake Juno. These guys completely destroyed the IBC system and sort of the value proposition. Let me tell you something, like, honestly, it is a cesspool of insiders. From what I have heard from people I know, basically they try to use their positions as validators to basically force through payments to their friends. And what ends up happening is you end up diluting your token. So the Atom token just has massive dilution, right? You have to stake your token. Otherwise, your token is just going to keep getting diluted and dumped on. It's telling that the price of Atom was like 10 to 20 bucks in the bear market. And what is it now? Like a couple bucks? It's incredibly awful. Now, I did post a video, like I think it was, I don't know, maybe about 10 months ago, where I said, I'm completely out of Atom. You know what? Here, let me just, I'm going to, like, once again, I'm going to just show you something. So this is not the most latest one, but here's what I basically said here. Effective immediately, I'll be closing all my Osmo, Kuji, and Stars pools across all wallets. I will unbond, blah, 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 blah. Basically saying like, it just wasn't worth it. Airdrops were insignificant and everything. At that time, I thought Celestia and Dimension would be fine. Wrong about that too. Celestia and Dimension have not worked out. In fact, Celestia is now trying to basically get rid of staking rewards there too. So it's just a complete joke. I think you made the right call getting out of there. Cosmos is just, like, in my opinion, completely dead. I think they've got to do a lot of work to deserve people coming back there. And I think most people who will tell you Cosmos is amazing, they're biased and they're really trying to basically sell their book to you. So I would rather just stay on ETH and Sol. You want to be where the volume is. You want to be where the projects are being developed, and you want to be where the money is. I'd rather be there, and then you can likely get way better airdrops in those ecosystems by being part of that. So completely agree with you. Hey, Greg, how's it going? All right. CPI done, PPI done. What's left? Any macros in sight for a potential bull run? I mean, there was a very cool announcement about like sort of the Ethereum ETF. So let me bring it up. Hold on a second. Posted it earlier today, right? So you can get the staking. So let's get it over here. Like, basically, you're able to sort of start staking Ethereum ETFs. So can't find the article, but I think that's pretty good. Here's the thing. What people seem to think is that we need some macro event to have the bull run. Like, obviously it'd be nice to have, QE, like quantitative easing. The reality is we heard from Powell, or, when CPI happened, hey, inflation's gone up. It hasn't gone down. So why would they reduce interest rates, right? Interest rates only get reduced once inflation is under control. So it would seem that we are quite a bit away from quantitative easing. Doesn't matter. We can still play the liquidity game, right? This is why I was saying earlier about that buy and sell. Like, don't just hold on to it. When your tokens pump, take your profits. You don't have to sell all at once. You can ladder out, right? Don't FSH, like sell 50%. You can leave a moon bag, right? These are the things that will help you maximize your profits, still get you exposure in case like the rally continues. But the way I see it is, I would rather we go back, sweep those liquidities, right? So let's go to 179 on Sol. Let's go to 21 or 2200 on Ethereum, right? Maybe we even go down to 77K on Bitcoin. Let's go there, then start trading sideways and up. It will likely take, maybe 2 to 6 weeks, right? That's why I'm saying like the window is closing, but you don't have to act right now, but you want to be aware and be positioned. You don't want to just wake up 3 months from now, don't look at your portfolio and go, oh man, I wish I bought, right? It's so easy to say that in hindsight. When it's painful, people always misconstrue what I'm about to say. When it looks bad, you want to buy. That doesn't mean you buy dog shit. You buy good assets. A lot of people will say that about some nonsense trash asset like Jewel from DeFi Kingdoms. That does not count. You want to be buying actually good, solid projects. And right now, you've got some amazing deals on like things like Ethereum and Sol. Like, why would you not want to take that, right? Like, you have to take even way less risk, because I don't see a world where, these things fail and all the other bullshit does well. People just seem to always want to go buy the terrible stuff because they get greedy. They're like, oh, I'm not okay with a 5x or a 4x. I need a 100x. And sometimes you don't even know if this thing's going to recover. So I would rather just buy these things when you know it's safe. And then the other things, you buy them when the volume is going in. You start piling in on it. But otherwise, I wouldn't touch those. So I think we don't need actually any big macro event for a bull run. I just think we need to resolve these liquidities, fill that wick, and then start going up. In the meantime, go out there, build your Twitter presence, go over there, farm some airdrops. Like, for example, the layer airdrop, or the Sol layer airdrop, that came out. I made like 5,200 tokens. I got 2,700 bucks like right away. The rest is vested, and you can basically claim almost every other day or something. So like, hey, it's not bad. Look for opportunities like that where there's some asymmetry, right? This is where Kaito comes in as well. Just keep adding to your bag. Stop wasting your money. Buy good positions, and eventually your biggest complaint's going to be not, oh my God, when's the bull run going to happen? But man, I wish I had more time to get my portfolio ready. And then when that happens, when the bull run, when you start seeing that, regardless of whether it's a intermittent bull run of just a few weeks like we saw in December, or if it's a more sustained one, just start taking profits that way. Like, hey, I can buy back in and buy more on dips. I'm not saying to sell everything, just sell a piece of it like we discussed. Any update on the monitor? No. So the way it works is, let me just show you this. So you can see it right here. Literally, like, that's the monitor. This is I just have it sitting on the ground waiting. Basically, I filled in a ticket or whatever, and I let them know when I got the monitor. So for context for everyone, I ordered like a $2,500 monitor from this thing called Noon. It's like a Dubai like marketplace of sorts. You're supposed to buy things that are new there, right? It's kind of like your Amazon. I waited 2 days. It came in. I opened the box. I'm like, yo, why is there a crack on the thing? And like, I'm not the most handy person, so I'm like, I'm missing that a screen you peel off, right? So I open a ticket with Noon right away saying, hey, I sent them photos. Is this right? What am I missing? They're like, oh, check it out. We'll see what's going to happen, right? And what happened? Well, honestly, it was like, I still had no idea. So I hired somebody. I paid him like 130 dirham, which is like $40, and was like, hey, I don't have a screwdriver. Can you come build a monitor? Whatever. I want to see that it works or not. Huge gash. So then they told me it will take 6 days for them to get back to me on this. So we'll see. You know what I mean? Yeah. All right. Uniswap and ENS were my best airdrop. Yeah. Well, look, so the airdrop window is not slowly dissipating. You have to remember, Robinson, that when the way it works, right, is projects don't have infinite tokens to give out. They have a certain percentage that they give out, and then every single time people start manipulating it. It's not the project's fault for the most part. For the most part, projects are getting scammed because people are creating cyber farms and finding ways to just steal tokens, right, from other people. That's what they do, right? When you create another 100 wallets to farm, you're not stealing from the project, you're stealing from other users who are getting a lower allocation. What happened was when Uniswap and ENS were happening, people weren't as familiar with airdrops. Now they are. So people are trying to do whatever they can. Whenever you have money and it's being given away in an inefficient manner, you always find people who are willing to do these things, will do anything it takes. This is why projects are evolving. That's why they require capital. And now they're requiring social capital. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that it's slowly dissipating, it's evolving. And if you keep on top of it, you can still make money. See, Anne's here. I said Trump was going to $100. Is that what I said, Anne? Like, I know. So Anne is a resident Democrat who likes to come in here and do political talk. And I'm not going to let you go through that tonight. Honestly, I don't have time for your nonsense. Let's just be straight up here. But what I will say to you is, I'm going to put you in timeout because I'm going to address this. So when Trump came out, people were asking, how high could it go? I said, hey, I can see potentially going all the way to $100. Went to $70 and then Melania dropped. Did I say Trump's going to $100 before Melania dropped? No, of course not. But guess what happens, Anne? I just want to be very clear. When you have other tokens cannibalizing, things change. If I told you that tomorrow is going to be sunny and then it starts raining, are you going to be like, oh my God, Brownson said it's going to be snow? Like, no, things change. Like, I don't understand. Like, how stupid are you? I don't understand why you even come on here, Anne. Like, do you got nothing better to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't understand it. Like, you are so miserable. And I know why you said that stuff. And this is why I'm saying it, because you're an idiot. But basically, for everyone who, just to understand, I don't have a crystal ball. If I knew what token was going to what price, guess what? I'd be too busy out there being a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, I'm unable to see that. I don't have a time machine and I can't see the future. So unfortunately, I can only sort of look at charts and tell you, okay, here's what it looks like. I can't predict what's going to happen in the future either. It's just reality of it. Okay. Could you please chart Sui for us, Jet? Your predictions. I'll do it on another video. Like I don't have time to do that. But basically for Sui, I think I was looking at $2 or something. Last I checked, it was in the $2.30, $2.20 range. I know because you're in the Web3 Secret Society. I know I mentioned this on a previous video. I think it was one of our office hours. So something there. Crypto Black, I missed it. Missed what? What did you miss? Any upcoming collections I like? No. I think for the most part, every project is out here launching new tokens, launching new NFTs. Most NFTs that are launching are grifts. I think Raccoon's NFT on Anisha is okay. But for the most part, you're just better off saving your money. Your money is your limited asset, right? Like your time and your money. Save your money and use it to buy established things that are oversold, right? One such example that I was buying, I haven't actually bought it yet. I bought 3 so far, but one I was looking to buy was Bitcoin puppets, right? So these are very undervalued. Let's just like look back here. Ordinals have completely sold off. They were starting to recover. They went to like 0.19 Bitcoin in December, and now they sold off again. I really believe that these things have massive potential. So if I'm looking at any collection, this would be one to get. I hold 3 Bitcoin puppets right now, so I want to be very clear with you guys. And I'm looking to buy some more, but I'm looking for nicer pictures. Okay. What I think about Doodles and the token announcement? No. I actually posted that on Twitter. I will not be buying any Doodles NFT. I believe, I don't know if NFT Power started yet, but I know people were rumoring that was Doodles announcement. But DOOD is going to be coming out soon. I believe there will be some sort of Kaito reward for that as well. I'm not touching their NFT. I'm not buying their token off the secondary. You guys saw what happened with Anime. You guys saw what happened with Pengu. These are literally like a ski slope. It's literally like, it's a penguin just like going down the hill. It's just, why would you buy these tokens? Guys, how many more tokens can we have around? Like all these tokens do is suck liquidity and get people trapped, and they gaslight you. That's the worst part. They gaslight you into buying trash. I love my Pudgy Penguin. I keep saying that I think having Pengu token was a huge mistake. Thank you for the free money. But why are we constantly promoting it? We don't need it. We don't want it. It's trash, right? And people are bull posting it because they get yaps for talking about it. That's the only reason people talk about Pengu. It's just not worth it. That's why when I talk about Pengu, I was very like not positive about it. Let's just say I wasn't super negative, but I was like, why do we need this thing? It's just not adding any value. You know what I'm saying? AK, I already own a Mad Lads, but is it worth buying another one? I mean, I own 2 Mad Lads right now. I want to buy a third. It really depends, right? So the way I would look to answer that question is basically for your Mad Lads, what percentage of your portfolio is your Mad Lads? If you are way too overexposed in one asset here, then okay, fine. Then I would get something else. But if it's not a massive part of your portfolio, then I think of all the NFTs out there, it is likely the most undervalued. The other NFT that I find it hard to price, but I've bought multiple times is this one, the Kaito Genesis NFT, right? It is expensive. It's, what is it, like $20,000 right now? But in my opinion, so this one, thank God, I flipped these each time. One time I made I think it was like a 1.5 or 2 Ethereum profit. The most recent time I sold it for an extra half an Ethereum. And obviously I earned a volume on OpenSea, which is nice because it might matter for their airdrop. But basically, there was a snapshot taken on February 11th. Was it February 11th? Whenever it happened, I basically sold the NFT 6 hours after the snapshot. So I got the 100 IP token, which is another $230 or $260. So wasn't bad. But these are other NFTs that will sell off when you get mass fear. So the day of the liquidation, wait, what is it, February 3rd? The day of the liquidation is right here. And you can see here, it went to 5.5 ETH from 7.1, and prior it was around 9. So every single time you see a liquidation event, go check NFTs. People are scared. They sell those off to get liquidity to buy things or pad their leverage or whatever it may be. So you get some really good deals. This is a fantastic one. You get voting power that you can sell, right? And I think what is the voting power right now for Kaido Connect? 93,000. So effectively, I'm gonna put this in other terms. You get 933 YAP worth of votes. So you can sell that for times 1.25, 1,000. You know, maybe I should just buy. As I say this, I'm like, why am I not buying this NFT and just literally just selling the votes? Yeah, so I think I know what I'm gonna do after this video. But yeah, that's something definitely to look at. Like, you can literally take the NFT, sell the votes, and just rinse and repeat. And this NFT will hold its value. Don't forget, these guys, Kaito, they're gonna have a TG at some point too. So earning YAPs and having the Genesis NFT will be significant. Am I unstaking my Jupiter? No. A couple things. Number one, the Jupiter team is gonna have the ASR soon, right? But so I understand why you want to unstake. I put my hat in the ring for the good cats. So I made a lot of Jupiter related content. Hopefully, their Twitter and YouTube, they look at that and give me it. And if I unstake it, they may not be happy with me. So I like supporting Meow, Wear Meow and everything. So no reason to have it unstaked. The only unstaked Jupiter I had was the one I didn't stake from the airdrop. But that's only because I sent it out to a bunch of winners, right? I sent 50% off to winners, and then I staked the other half. Some Cosmos got me waiting so long. Yeah, Cosmos is dog shite. 100%. Yeah, let's go. Hello TBG, what's up? How's it going? When is my community NFT launch? Never. So here's the thing. I think it's completely irresponsible to have an NFT, like to launch your own NFT, unless there's some sort of utility. Because otherwise, let me tell you something. If I don't work on it, people will be pissed. If I ever stop working on it, people will be pissed. Look at Frank the Gods. He made, the Gods, right? The NFT collection. People are still talking about what happened to it. He basically said he wanted to move on to other things, so that the Gods NFT became worthless. And guess what happened? Like, people are still years later being like, "Oh, this guy's a scammer." I don't want to do anything to ever touch or tarnish my brand image, right? My brand image is all about being like your trusted advisor, your trusted source, right? Not financial advice. But I don't want to do anything. So no coins, no community NFT, nothing like that, right? We have an NFT DAO, which is very different. That's not me minting any NFTs. That's just a fundraiser that we do internally to basically allow people who don't have a ton of liquidity to get exposure to certain NFTs, whether it's the Mad Lads, the Pudgy Penguins, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? If you could choose between a Pudgy Penguin and Mad Lad, regardless of price, which would you buy? It's a hard question to ask. Like the reason I'm going to be honest, the reason I buy these things is return on investment. So I will always look at return on investment, but maybe if Pudgy Penguins and Mad Lads were the same, it's not even a fair comparison, actually. Yeah, so it's hard. I can't answer that question. Like, at this price right now, at Pudgy Penguins at 10 ETH and Mad Lads at 47 or whatever Sol, I'm buying a Mad Lad, right? Because I already have a Pudgy as well. Whereas if I had 0 Pudgies, maybe I'd buy a Pudgy first, right? But that's more of like trying to own like one of the top 3 NFTs on ETH, right? We got, even though like I'm not counting Kaido in this, but basically CryptoPunks, OG CryptoPunks, like the V2 or whatever, all that stuff. And then you got Pudgy Penguins. I'm not counting Bored Apes either. What's my take on Binance selling all their Sol, BTC, Sol, and ETH to buy back BNB? Yeah, they can do whatever they want. Remember, Binance is basically crime city, right? You can ask me what my thoughts are on broccoli, on CZ posting his dog and then saying, "Oh, I expect the community to figure out which contract address is best." And all you got is a bunch of PvP, right? It's fine. Like, look, Binance, I believe most of BNB, or the majority, is controlled by one person. So that's why, like, I've been warned to never short BNB because of that. So hey, if they want to sell their Bitcoin, Sol, and ETH to do it, go for it. Who cares? I'd rather them not hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Should I start stacking BNB? I mean, right now it's almost like $700. When I checked earlier, maybe it came down a bit. You can if you want to. I personally would not. Hello, Brown Gent. I got drained. Yeah, so Zira, you literally have left me a ton of messages on YouTube. I asked you to DM me or message me. Like, I never heard back. So don't know what happened, but I've made some videos on security. Like, the thing is, guys, like, you guys assume that I don't make these videos, but everyone always goes through something and then tells me, "Oh, why don't you make a video on this?" I'm like, I've made like 3 videos on security. Just type in the Brown Gen security and I have it. In fact, I even have links in the description below on how to protect yourself. Like, I have hardware wallet links, and I also have a link to Wallet Guard, which is a very good way to protect yourself too. Still waiting to hear what happened, by the way. So that sucks though, obviously. Will Arbitrum have a new airdrop? Claudio saw something on X about token unlocks. I don't think so. If it does, if it just came out, I'm not aware of it. I'll look it up after. I'd be surprised to see that. That'd be nice because I have been using Arbitrum. Hopefully they do. I'm more hoping that Base has a token soon, right? I know they keep saying no, but then I've heard they're looking for a way to reward people for on-chain activity. So maybe they're doing what ZK Sync did, right? Which is ZK Sync. We never said we're gonna have a token. Next week, introducing ZK. So it is what it is. Okay, went through this. Yeah, I've already made some videos on security, guys. Please review them. Evening, yep. Jupiter AST. Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Yeah. Perfect. I'm gonna have an airdrop video out soon as well. Just saw that too. Any information on mitosis? Smells like an air. Yeah, I mean, mitosis is doing a lot of things to like tiptoe around the fact they're getting close to TGE. They released their white paper by accident 3 weeks in advance. I saved a copy and sort of linked it to people, and then a week later they got rid of it. I don't know why. So we should get something soon. Like, my thing is, I just want to wrap up some projects. I want to wrap up mitosis. I want to wrap up Linea. Like, can we just move on, right? Other projects like Solaire came out in the summer and they're on their TGE, and now I'm done with them. Right, I'm going to claim, invest, and do whatever, but we're done. On to the next. I want Camino Finance to be done season 3 already, right? We put so much time in, I want to basically see it through. The Brown Gent told me to quit crypto and become a meteorologist. Yes, of course. Because I mean, it's the same with people who try to predict the prices of crypto, right? You might as well. 48% chance of the Sol over 200. The name should have been No Nonsense. Well, the problem is, people think, I don't know, they think that I'm their slave, or they think they can talk to me a certain way, like Ann Fields, right? And it's like Ann, like should be called Karen Fields. Like, let's be honest here. And just like, it's such a joke. Like, this is me being a volunteer. I'm not getting paid for this. Like, hold on a second. Like, I'm going to show you something, guys. Like, I want to make it very clear to you. This is a volunteer job. I make my money off crypto. I don't make my money off YouTube. Look at this, $65. And by the way, that's for the entire month. Okay. And on these videos, and just so you guys know, ever since I moved to Dubai, I can't even get the dollars from them because they don't have a physical address, because I'm currently in an Airbnb. Hopefully tomorrow I can figure out a permanent location. But people seem to think that because I'm on YouTube and making that sweet AdSense revenue, that I got to take their bullshit. No, I'm here spending my time trying to help you guys. That's why I demand respect. If I don't get respect, forget it. My farming unit chain, no. And it's not that unit chain sucks. It's just, once again, there's a million things around unit chain that are like not unit chain, just like a lot of different activities. And if I don't enjoy them, why do I do it? Certain things that I do might affect it anyways, right? All coins for NFT are crap. Yeah. So what ends up happening is basically you end up these coins from the NFT start treating it like a dividend. This is what I noticed. Every time the NFT does this coin distribution, it subtracts the value of the airdrop roughly from the value of the NFT. That's why we saw when Pudgy Penguins did a 100K airdrop of Pengu, for the big ones, they dropped 100K in price, right? The same thing happened with Azuki. Look at what happened to Azuki. They got destroyed after. So I think the same thing happened to Doodle. Whatever, I'm not touching it. In fact, I tried getting Doodle. For those of you in the Web3 Secret Society, you saw it in the My Moves channel. I bought it for, I think it was like 5 or 6 Ethereum at that time. And then I sold it for a small profit because I noticed that we were getting lower lows and lower highs. I'm like, oh my God, the price is going to downtrend. So I dumped it, took a small profit, and the thing completely got destroyed. Super happy to that. I have no reason to touch it again. In regards to puppets, is there a reason why you like it more than Quantum Cats and Node Monks? Have you seen those? Have you seen those ordinals? So those are the top 3, right? So we look over here, and this, NFT prices this stuff by market cap, right? So the market cap of these things isn't even that much, right? Like the market cap of CryptoPunks is 1 billion almost. If we go down and we start looking at Bitcoin NFTs or ordinals, let's just say, Quantum Cats is up here at $76 million. That's nothing. Like that is literally the TVL that's left on scroll, to put it in perspective, right? You got Node Monks here at 55.3 and Bitcoin Puppets at 55.3. The problem with Quantum Cats is, one, it's overpriced, and they have Quantum Cats will qualify you for something called Taproot Wizard. And I believe those are overvalued right now. So because of that, I don't believe it's worthwhile to get Quantum Cats. I also think the images just look absolute trash. The second is, between Node Monks and Bitcoin Puppets, which do you think look better? So let's just go through this quickly, because I was trying to find a decent enough, Node Monk or Bitcoin Puppet. Bitcoin Puppets, like I think you've seen No Thread Guy even uses one, the one with the sunglasses and everything. But these can actually be used on your profile. I've seen a lot of people rock these. I've not seen a single person rock a Node Monk, right? You can rock this as a PFP, right? And when Ordinals comes back, which I do believe it will. Remember, guys, one thing I want to be very clear with you is crypto is a very attention-driven game. Right now, when no one's looking at it, no one cares. The prices of these things deflate. When attention's on it, the prices of these things skyrocket. That's just the reality of it. That's why you can be doing nothing and then all of a sudden see something skyrocket and then everyone starts jumping in. This is why you want to rotate and buy these things before people are looking at it. Look at Node Monks though. So let's go to Bitcoin Node Monks. Look at these things. These things are disgusting. Like I actually don't even see why this thing exists. Yeah, like fine, have it in your collection. No one's ever showing this thing off. It literally looks like vomit on a screen. You know what I mean? Like these are not good. Maybe there are some that are like, unique ones that are better. Like this one's better, but still, most of them are absolute trash, and they look like just a bunch of squiggly vomit. So I would not touch it. That's sort of where I am on that. Any thoughts on the Kinto token sale? So ironically, I tried to get into Kinto way earlier. I was way too late to sign up. The VIP thing sold out in like 90 seconds or whatever. So unfortunate. I'm staying away from token sales after what happened to me with Loop AI, where I put $3,000 in a vested contract. Woke up for their token generation event, found out that they bumped it. They surprisingly did it 1 hour earlier than they were supposed to. And then they made a accident where 100% of tokens unvested. So obviously, reading between the lines, they wanted to let some people cash out and exit. So likely either their own side wallets or whatever, they basically dumped the token down by 90% in the first hour. And most of us who are waiting for the token generation event were like caught off guard to see that, right? And for me, it was like super early in the morning. So I woke up, a few minutes before, ready to do it. And I'm like, wait, what the hell happened? Right? It was in my wallet, but the tokens were like down so much. And they're like, yeah, sorry, we made some mistakes. Should have been better. Honestly, so like I'm trying to stay away from token sales just because like I got burned the last couple times I did it, especially on Sol. Like NX Finance was another joke, and then this one. So avoiding it right now. Maybe I missed a cook, so be it. My guy, sorry I'm late. Not a problem, Michael. Hope you're doing well. I was not able to send anything to hacker at all my accounts, so I was not able to reply. What do you mean? So Zira, like I don't understand. If you were drained, how did you get hacked? Like, I'm a little confused. If you got drained, that means you signed a contract, but you're now telling me that your computer was hacked. So which one is it? Right? I want margin 5 for me and my million of points. Yeah, God, I would love to see that. Margin 5 is never going to happen. I'm not able to DM you, I guess, on Twitter. You can't DM. Yo, how's this, Zero? Just respond to any one of my tweets and then I'll DM you, okay? NFT is still free money if you got it in time. What NFT? Sorry, you mean like for the coins? Yeah, for sure. Looks like Hyperlane will base on fees. Yeah, that's not unexpected. We saw the same thing happen to the bridge, right? The bridge did the exact same thing. That airdrop was kind of pitiful. So be it. Whatever. We got something to get away. In fact, I should check when the second part of the bridge airdrop vests because I got 50% up front. It's a good reminder. Am I doing cookie farming? No. I'm so glad I dumped the cookie token. That cookie token has gotten completely smashed. I'm not touching that. Like, there are some airdrops I'm doing. Like, as you know, I'm very, very particular. Like, Hyperliquid was a massive cook for me. Kaito is something I'm putting a ton of effort into. I'm doing some gaming airdrops like Kiruro, which is like, more like touch grass, chill kind of vibe. It's not bad. Like and follow to have some more revenues on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't really care about the revenues on YouTube, but I definitely care about building up the brand. So definitely, guys, as we get to the end of the hour, we've been here for an hour and 10. If you haven't already, hit that like button, share the video, follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff. I'll be here a lot to keep bringing you some more insight. I do want to do a video talking about portfolio building, what I think. I'm going to raise some tokens. Hope I don't hurt any of you guys' feelings. That's going to come up in either tomorrow or the day after. It really depends on how busy I am tomorrow. I have, like I said, some real estate deal stuff I got to take care of. With that being said, guys, have a good night. Thanks so much again for watching. Appreciate the kind words, Tuan. If you haven't already, make sure you follow me on whatever tech you have. So that may be YouTube, Twitter, whatever. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good night. Bye.